How's it going, everybody, and welcome back. Today is another F-150 video. Hopefully we don't have a ton more of these to go because I'm kind of ready for this project to be over with, but you know, it is what it is. We've got to finish what we started. So this is a 1995 F-150. I have a rolled over 1996. We're taking all of the good stuff off of the 1996 and we're putting it into this abandoned project truck that I picked up. So there's a whole playlist on it if you want to check it out. There's a card wherever the cards are. You can go watch all of that. But last video we got the rear main seal all taken care of, clutch, pressure plate, all that stuff is on. All of the motor mounts and everything should be on this truck. It should be good to go and ready for the new, well, the old engine and transmission to go in. One thing I want to do today though, it's 106 out with the heat index right now, so it's definitely warm enough for us to degrease the transmission. So if there is some leaks or something, at least I'll be able to see where they're coming from a little easier, and you know, it'll just be nicer than putting a greasy, grimy old transmission back in. So while it's still nice and warm, sun's going down kind of, let's go ahead and degrease and power wash that transmission and get it ready for tomorrow. So here it is. This is the two-wheel drive version, but we're going to focus on this one today. It worked great. You know me, old super clean man. I like it. It works good. So we're going to go ahead and douse this thing down. I got to plug that hole over here where the clutch goes. So I need to do that. But we'll get this thing soaking. Oh, I got some of the foaming one too. So we'll try this. This one's brand new. Super clean foamer. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this thing soaking. Give it about, it's nice and hot today too, so it'll be good. You know, heat always helps. So I don't think it'll be too much longer. We'll be able to hose this thing down, make it look nice. And I can't see anything with the glare from the sun in my eyes. So let me go ahead and knock this stuff out, see how the foamer works, and then we'll come and power wash the thing off. I think everybody likes power washing videos. And if you want to get yourself some awesome super clean stuff, be the first one to comment the correct answer down below. What size engine does my 1984 Dodge Ram D150 actually have in it? It's a pretty easy answer. I think you'll be able to get it. First one to comment the right answer, we'll connect up somehow. We'll send you out a free box of super clean stuff. Unfortunately, it's only continental United States, so not Canada, Alaska, Mexico, or overseas. So, you know, continental United States, let me know down below. Super Clean's always been a great supporter of the channel, so I really appreciate them. So don't forget to comment below, and let's degrease this transmission. Well, I wish I would have been able to get to this thing a little bit earlier when it was sunny out, but I just didn't have time. It looks a lot better than it did, so at least we won't get so filthy from the transmission tomorrow, just everything else on the truck. Speaking of which, I think I need to swap out this crooked master cylinder here. I don't know why it's crooked. It doesn't look like it's bent, but it looks like it's bent. Not cracked or anything like that. It's just weird looking. Plus it has the wrong end on it, as far as I know. This is the different style end without the clip. And this transmission needs this master cylinder here. That looks straight up and whatever. It's just different, I suppose. But it has, I guess, a different end on the end of it because that transmission that you just saw is the one that was in this truck. So we'll go ahead and pull that off tomorrow. It's probably just like a little linkage inside of there or like a little rod. No, it won't be a big deal, just one little hose. Hopefully it's the same. All right, well, tomorrow came and went about a week ago. I do have the transmission in. My buddy Rob was over here using the tire machine, and he had some extra time, but he uses this thing so much. I even named it after him. The old Robbie. So anyhow, he was here for a little bit, and he gave me a hand with it, mainly because it's a two-person job, at least for me. I don't know. It just, that the weight of this transfer case wants to make this whole trans just fall over and roll. So it wasn't easy to get in, and then also I screwed around and used the wrong cross member. So that's the four-wheel drive one that I should have used, but I forgot all about it, and then I tried to get it in place using the two-wheel drive one. You can see it's totally a different cross member. Didn't work, so I wasted a day on that, but other than that, everything looks pretty good. I disconnected the slave cylinder for the clutch, or the clutch master, whatever you want to call it, so it's there. I got the other one off of the other truck, which is over here, and they do have totally different ends on them. I don't know if you could tell on camera just by looking at it real quick, but this is longer, uses a different little collar. This one is shorter, and yeah, they look similar, but they're not. So, you know, if you're swapping these transmissions over, check to make sure you're using the right, clutch master, or else you'll be in trouble. Other than that, got everything, pretty much ready to go. I cut out the floor here because this glue is crazy strong. Otherwise, I'd have to take the carpet out from inside the truck, and I tried hammering out this glue and whatever, and it wasn't having it, so I just cut it out with a wheel. Hammered out this bolt, heated it up with my brand new set of used oxyacetylene torches that a buddy gave to me, so that's pretty nice, and that worked out really well. So I ended up using the impact, got that bolt out of there, replaced it with a grade 8 one, probably overkill, but that's the one that I had, and everything seems to be working pretty good. This thing is just barely in there, so I got these ratchet straps just to hold it in place so it doesn't just fall. You can see I just got a couple of bolts just kind of in there, because I figure once we start to put the engine in, because that input shaft needs to be lined up perfect, it might be tricky. So I left me some room to move the transmission and stuff around. So everything should be, I guess, ready to go. I just need to clean up out here some so I have some room to move the engine forward. And I guess we could try dropping the engine in. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get to that clutch master with the engine in the truck, because it's kind of a tricky thing. I don't know. I don't know if I broke it or it did break, but the way that these things connect in are a little bit different between the 95 and the 96. So I'll have to figure all of that out. Looks like I broke this clip a little bit too. So I don't know, whatever. But that's the one that we need, and it did work. So yeah, anyhow, let me clean up out here and then we'll get to it. One thing that I did forget about, I thought it was this one, but I guess it's this one right here. I had to cut this off with a torch. I need to get in there and clear out all of these holes and whatnot, and then grind this down and get an easy out in there or something and get that thing out. Don't let the name fool you. There's nothing easy about an easy out usually. It's just a dust shield, so it doesn't really matter too much. I like these style center punches. They're on a spring. It's like a carbide point there, so sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. And it shocks it too, so it actually feels like it's already loose a little bit. So we'll just drill it a little bit. And while it is fun to say, go get me a left-handed wrench or ratchet or whatever it is, there actually is a left-handed drill bit. Dang, this thing's hard as a rock. There we go. Left-handed drill bit for the win. Come on now. I think we can get it out. Look at that. Left-handed drill bit. Sweet. Done. Definitely wearing the proper safety equipment for today. I put the new motor mounts on. Boy, wow, that's crooked, isn't it? There's those sweet new motor mounts, or one of them. So we need the nuts. We need these nuts. I need to take some of this junk out of here. I didn't even think about it before, but here's all the crap that the previous owner had tried to install. That looks amazing. Why would they even put this thing in? So this is all, I don't know if you guys know the history on this truck or not, but a family had bought, I don't know, a family was selling this truck, and it had as a running driving vehicle from the south, and they wanted to put a hopped up 302 in it. So they built a 302 for it, which I have in the shed there, the storage container. And then I guess they decided that they got in over their head. So they did start to install things like this V8 fuel rail stuff for the injectors, but like, look at it. It's never ran like that. Why would they even bother to put it in? Look at that. It ain't like these people were broke and they were just doing this on a shoestring. They had nice stuff. In fact, they swapped this whole truck out for a Corvette, so that's gonna tell you something. I need to pull this off. I'll use my little whatever injection hose clamp disconnect tool on these so we can get rid of these, and then we'll just take this right out of the way. It is that size. Whatever size that is the size it is. Man, there's just no good way to get any grip on it because everything's sharp. There we go. Lost my tool. There we go. Finally. Well, these were worth the 13 bucks or whatever I paid. And there we go. Bling bling. Did we lose an injector or was it not even there? Huh. Found it. So one of these, I don't know which one. Look at that. The O-rings are like smoked. This one's cracked. Kind of broken. Well, whatever. O-rings like shredded. They might test good. Who knows? One of these Ford injectors, I don't think it's this one, but one of them has like 4 holes in it. You can like retrofit it into a Dodge Ram like the second gens, and they're supposed to be an upgrade. I don't know if it's this one or not though. Well, we might as well see, whatever. See if this even fits in here correctly. Yeah, she's tight, but it works. There's clearance there. I don't know why the other one was twisted over and looked weird. Yeah, not sure. Assuming that would be fine. Yep, 13 millimeter. I've got a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch will work for 13 millimeter. All right, so here we are. This is the part that I just don't know about. I mean, it works. It does work. They're not totally fried. It looks worse than it is. All of this stuff is the loom that's been cooked onto it. The actual wires themselves aren't brittle, so to speak. You know, they're just basically this plastic is melted together onto them. But you know, you can see the insulation of the wires. They're not cracked, you know. Like so I can even separate it. We'll see if we get any copper showing. We don't. It's just melted loom all over these things. I don't think I have another harness anywhere though. And if I do, ugh, it's up there. I don't want to go up there. But I probably should, so I'm gonna. I'll go up there and look around. It's not easy to go up there when all this stuff is in the way because it's right where the ladder needs to be in order to get up there. So I'll have to do it off camera. I'll see if I can get a new harness for it, but I really don't think it's a problem, again, because I could rewrap this thing, and it, like I showed you, it's mostly just loom that's melted on there. But you guys can let me know in the comments what would cause that, because there's nothing really here that would create that, right? So we got some EGR stuff here, right? Okay, where it would go between those heads like that. So maybe it just got so hot here that it melted through, or just radiant heat. But, you know, it doesn't look like it got cooked on there or anything. Looks perfectly fine. Or maybe it doesn't. That looks like a repair, doesn't it? Yeah, this looks like some type of like high temperature JB Weld type action going on. I guess it worked though. So if I can't find another harness, maybe I'll just put a bunch of new tape on here and then you know, put some type of a heat shield on this to prevent this from becoming worse. That's all I can think of. So let me go up there and see what I can find. All right, I couldn't find anything. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a shield. This is aluminum, probably, I don't know, 18 gauge, 16 gauge, something like that. I folded it in half. It's double wall now, so a good insulator. Drilled some holes in it. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put that on there like that. And I have some safety wire. This is stainless steel safety wire for aircraft and race cars and motorcycles and things like that. So we're gonna safety wire this thing just into place, just so it's a shield right there. Shouldn't interfere with anything, I don't think. Fits in there pretty tight, so I think we'll be okay. And then we're gonna wrap this thing all up with a bunch of different layers of tape, one of them being this Tessa tape as the final. This is, you know, pretty standard stuff. It's like a fabric. So we're going to do some electrical tape underneath, then the Tessa on top. And I think that'll pretty much solve the problem, since I don't have another harness. And that's a lot of work anyway. So we're going to use a little safety wire pliers. In case you've never seen how these work, they're pretty fun. Hopefully I don't bump the camera. All right, so we're going to put that on there. I'm just going to fish this safety wire through. All right. And then I don't think we really need much to be honest. It's stainless. All right, now the way that these safety wire pliers work, it's got a latch. Okay, it's got this knob on there, and then they're just pliers. So you're going to clip that on. 41 Ford has safety wire on it as well, like from the factory. You run into this a lot if you're racing motorcycles or go-karts. Different things have requirements for having safety wire bolts and stuff so they don't rattle out. This isn't going to be doing much. Like I said, it's primarily just to hold this in place. So get that thing tight, push this down, slide your little lock in place, and then just let go of the pliers altogether and pull up. As you can see, it adds that little twist onto it. I'm probably overkilling this whole thing because it doesn't need all of this, but it is fun. and it kind of tightens it up. There we go. Safety wire 101. So now it'll hold it in place. It just won't just come off, and it'll have high enough temperature resistance that, you know, nothing will happen to it. Man, were these sitting here the whole time? I was looking for them. That's funny. And then for this, we're just gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I can't find one, and I really want this project to be wrapping up. I need to do other things. So I really want it done a lot. Mainly, I'm just doing this to try to keep some of the weather out of it. And then this is Tessa tape. You can tell, it says Tessa. And this is like a fabric, and it really sticks to itself great. It's what I use for all of my wiring harnesses, or I don't know, I don't do really very many wiring harnesses, but per se. But anytime that I'm doing electrical work, I love to use this because it's got high abrasion resistance. It looks really nice too. Looks about as close to factory as you could possibly get. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was factory stuff used by the manufacturers. And we are out of this roll. One more little tiny piece. Actually, you know what? That'll probably be good. There we go, nice and tight. It's a little bit off, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I'll show you. It's kind of there instead of on the bottom, but I still don't think that we did any harm by putting it where we did. And this can probably end up getting tucked back out of the way a little bit, and it'll help. I'll deal with that at another time. Maybe zip tie it somewhere else, but I think it'll be fine. We didn't hurt anything, that's for sure. And I don't know when those wires were, you know, corroded, or not corroded, but melted. That could have been, you know, 20 years ago. I have no idea. Now that we see that it's got some type of repair down there, apparently the repair is holding. I don't think that Ford would do anything like that, but who knows? Maybe it's a cost-cutting measure that they used back in the 90s to attach those. It doesn't look like it, but what do I know, you know? But I think that this will be fine. You know, it might rattle a little bit, but I'm never going to hear it in this truck. And it is aluminum and double wall, so I think we're good. It's getting a little late, about 8 o'clock, so I'm going to bail on this for tonight. Put my stuff away. Actually, I'm going to bail on that too. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Alright, let's see if we can get this engine in. I think the input shaft is going to be a problem on the trans. That trans probably should have been put in last. But, you know, it's the time that I had with my friend, so didn't have too much of a choice. Take some of these bolts out. These would be a problem for sure. Fingers crossed, I guess. That was just this little dust shield or whatever getting caught on the motor mount, whatever you call those ears or whatever. Yeah, the trans is definitely going to be an issue. Might as well just pull this back out. Slide the trans back as far as we can, because I don't know what you can see, but I can see from here. I can't even really see. We got that much room for the motor mount. Pops into the little ear there, and that trans is way too close, so we'll have to fix that. Well, let me figure out how to get this thing to work. Like I said, this thing isn't quite tall enough to fit under there with me. We'll figure it out. Alright, a new problem. I guess it's an old problem. We got no room here. So she's about right up to the floor. And yeah, we got no room because of the gas tank. I did take this shifter linkage down for the four-wheel drive stuff because it was tucked up in that hole there, and you couldn't move the trans around. Trans is loose, just kind of floating around in there. I got one nut barely holding it on so it doesn't just fall out of the truck, but I do believe we're going to have to take the transfer case off because I don't see any alternative with that. So we got a ratchet strap holding the front on. This thing's got a couple of bolts just hanging through it. Got the trans mount holding it on right there with one little nut, and then we'll go ahead and I'll move this thing over to the transfer case, put it up under here, and if we're lucky, I don't know what's up in here. That's why I didn't want to take it off. There could be input shaft, gaskets, seals, who knows? I don't know. But we're going to have to do it because there's no other way to move the trans back because it'll hit the fuel tank and the floor and everything else. So that's the plan. No, we're not taking the fuel tank out. We got the straps. The straps are gross. Fuel lines, the filler neck, just a bunch of stuff. There looks like, actually, you know what? We're probably gonna have to take it out anyway. I bet you the fuel pump is trashed in this thing. We have that other, this is a dual tank truck. I never even noticed that. What the heck? Wait a minute. We don't need that tank. You see the dim little light bulb go off in my head? Yeah, we don't even need this other tank. Let's get rid of that thing. Then whatever's in here can stay in here. Alright, well, I fished this thing down in here, and it's not looking amazing, that's for sure. But you can see you got a bunch of rust and stuff down in here. Don't know how well you can see that, but the anti-siphon part of the gas tank has my little bore scope stuck. This is as far as I can get it. It won't go any further. It like won't bend or anything because this isn't the type of bore scope that you can bend around. So it's got like a little freaking flap on here that's super sharp. I did stick my finger down in there and got my finger caught like a Chinese finger prison. So you can see I'm not making much progress. So let me try to retrieve my bore scope and then we'll just have to take it down. It doesn't smell great in there. I think I'm about to ruin my bore scope. Let me get this thing out. I did manage to get it out. Just a bunch of rust all over the end of it. So probably not ideal. So I suppose we'll just take the tank out. I don't know how much gas is in it, but we'll just deal with that later on. By the looks of the tank, doesn't really matter how much gas is in it anyway. The tank is rusty, so I'm sure that the fuel pump in it is trash. I don't know if what that wettish spot here is. Looks like maybe it's just some type of sound deadening junk that was on it. But I guess we're taking tanks out. Well, alright, we got lots of room now. I have no idea how I didn't notice that this had a second tank in it. I guess because my Dodge only has that one tank and it runs the length, and I don't have the one in the back like this one does, and I guess I just, whatever, didn't think about it. But check that out. There's the like little dual tank, you know, whatever, adapters or merge pipes or something like that. I don't know, to bring the fuel in from another tank. Fuel filter looks way better than the other one, and then we go on back, y'all. And yeah, it is what it is. So on this one, I think it's pretty new. You can see the tank looks relatively silver and newish. Same as that one over there. This one, if I had to take a guess, I'd say that maybe this one went bad. They disconnected it and then bought a new one for the back or something. Who knows? But I do have those good fuel lines from the other tank. These seem like they would be important, and we don't necessarily want to drive it around with with these things exposed if we ever wanted to put the other tank in it. So we'll deal with that at another time. But now I just have to, there's my wrench. I left it up there. So now I'll just tighten all these things back up and we will continue as planned before. All right, so I've got the cross member loose. I think that's loose enough. Got a little bit of room here. So we're going to just try to slide her back as much as we can, which is none. That's great. I think that'll do it. I think. This is now behind the firewall. This input shaft is about, I don't know, 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch proud of this mating surface. So I don't know, that might do it for us. All right. I don't know if you could see, but right down there is the home run we're looking for. What's it hanging up on? What's it sitting on? Oh, this side's in. Kind of hard to see, but that side's in there. So this one is in. We just have to get this one in, which isn't too far off. I bumped the camera, or the phone. It's really a phone. But basically, this one's in here, but we're stuck up on the trans. I don't know if you can even see, but... So, yeah, the trans is hitting. Just like what I was trying to avoid. But, anyway, I'm going to try to put like a, bar up in there and see if I can pry the transmission back. At least it won't have far to fall now, if it falls down. So... we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can pry it back enough that it'll just pop in there and fall down. Well, I guess technically it's in, but it's still not right. I tried getting underneath there and moving that trans around, and it's just not having it. We're still in our motor mount positions, but we're hung up on that input shaft on the trans. So the only thing that I can think of doing is to lift the truck back up and try to finagle it from underneath where I can get some stands under it and stuff, because I tried using a jack, a bunch of different things, and it's just not going to work. So I'll have to put it... All right, sorry about that. Where was I? This thing, I'm just going to put it up in the air the way that it is. I'll try to put ratchet straps around it or the fenders or something to keep the engine from falling out. I don't know. But I don't think it's going anywhere, but that's what's going to happen. So, we'll see what happens. Well, this project is brought to you by Off and Tylenol. This is what I got going on. Got this thing kind of ratchet strapped up. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It'll be okay. It's something, you know what I mean? Like, it's better than not having anything on there, I reckon. So we'll put it up in the air and hope for the best. Man, I forgot to turn the camera on. Sorry about that. Wow. Daggone typhoon out there. Yeah, we're about to have some nasty weather. Well, you can see what we got happening around y'all. Not ideal. Plumb hung up. So, I'm gonna try to put a stand under the engine and then the stand under the trans, and we're gonna cross our fingers. Be back with you. It's about to get serious out here, so yeah, the metal roof in here is going to be ultra loud in just a bit, so you'll have to bear with me. A little bit of rain, here it comes. Yeah, she's coming in this way. Major bummer, dude. All my junk is out too. That sucks. Anywho. Hey. There we kind of go. Hey, we're in business. Ish. Here we go. We're hanging now. Now we're on the motor mounts. Where are you at? Oh, you're right there. All right. We're in there. I mean, the motor mount bolts, or the nuts are on it. It's sitting in the cradle. I'd say it's installed. How are we looking over here? Semi okay? Alright, well, I put the drive shaft on, I put it in 5th gear, I can't move it, so that either means that I'm just not strong enough to move it, or we're engaged with the engine, it's just not lined up on the dowels yet. So, that's the thing, if the splines were normally fit together like this, if they're end to end, I'm not going to be able to get it in. But I mean, it felt like it popped in, right? Ish. Let's release this mamma jamma. Oh, we're registered on this side. I'll show you in a minute. We've got, yeah, all right. So the dowel is in on this side. That's good. So we look up in there. We are engaged. So that's good. Yeah, I guess it's just these dowels right there. Just really, really difficult to, let's see if I got a better light. I guess that dowel is just really hard to get in there. And on the other side, we got the same deal. There's a bolt that I found that works. I can't even, there's not any room. And then there's a hole up there. And there's a dowel in that hole. Like I said, this camera with this microphone on there is way too big. I can't see anything. I can't get you up in there to look. There's a dowel at the top. Yeah, the camera doesn't want to focus on it. So I'm just going to have to keep on wiggling it, I guess, until it works. That's all I can think of. All right, well, I got it to snug down. Good enough for tonight anyway. This is bent a little bit, so there's that. Top bolts, I must have the wrong ones or something like that because they're not going in all of the way. So maybe there's something different. I don't know if you could see it, but it's, you know, this camera won't fit. But it's sticking out about 3/8 of an inch or something like that, that top one. This one pulled it in pretty tight, so I'll deal with all that tomorrow. Everything looks to be pretty good. It's about 10:30 or something like that, and I'm cooked. There are a lot of mosquitoes out here, too. I don't know if you can see anything or not, but there's a bunch of fireflies out. There's some. Oh, there's one just flew by. Yeah. Yeah, the camera really isn't picking them up, but there's a ton of them way out in there. Well, it'll just be a couple of seconds for you guys, but I'll get back on this as soon as I can. Might be tomorrow, might be in a day or two. I don't know. We'll just have to see how things go. But yeah, just coming along. All right, well, it's another day. I went and got the old fuel lines from the blue truck and brought them in. I was going to take these other fuel lines down, but check it out. These are filled with gas. So, I mean, I don't know how long this particular truck has been sitting, but what do you think the odds are of this tank and fuel pump being good? I think it's pretty low, but I think we should give it a shot and see. I mean, this thing looks like it's pretty new. I wonder if it's good. If it is, being that the fuel hasn't evaporated out of it, which I think is really super weird, we're going to try to see if the fuel pump works. Dang it. Yeah, this thing's dead. Wow, that thing warmed up. So, good thing that we have another fuel tank. Where are you at? Oh. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pull this thing down, throw the other tank in it, string out all these lines, put our new lines in it. Hi. And do that. All right, just an update to let you know what I'm doing. Getting this tank out. All of the connections are hung up in there. I had to take the trailer hitch off of here, and all those bolts were rusted on, essentially. I had to take the filler neck down, which is the like rubber hose part of it is seized on up in there. I know I don't have a light, but I'm not really showing you too much. There is a video I have on replacing one of these tanks. Card will be up there. If you want to watch that, you can. It's a real tight fit. It kind of sucks. But anyway, just a quick update. Well, check this out. I got it out. The tank looks great inside, and the fuel that's in it is actually pretty good. This thing splashed in my eyes, this sock here. That sucks. But believe it or not, the fuel doesn't smell super bad, and it burns. So it's probably good fuel. I mean, it seems just like fuel I'd run in my lawnmower. But as far as like the wiring and stuff, it was just broken off of here. So this connector goes down in the top of the, you know, the fuel sender or whatever, the fuel pump module here. And it looks like it just had broken off or corroded or something. But yeah, here you can see it's just loose. So I don't know what the deal is with that. That's obviously the reason why our fuel pump wasn't working, but everything else looks good. So I guess we'll have parts for our fuel pump. You know, if the sending unit ever goes bad in the other tank or something like that, we could take this apart and maybe use some pieces off of it or something like that. Yeah, so got some parts we can use. I got all of the fuel lines unclipped. And now we can just pull them out and get ready to use those over there, which are the four-wheel drive ones. I don't know if they're any different or what, but got a little bit of gas. We're running the lawnmower. All right, many days later, I was kind of tinkering on this thing off camera, and I noticed that we're missing a wiring harness that goes to the transfer case. So I don't really know what the deal is or what's what. This, again, was a 6-cylinder truck, and this is obviously the V8 version. So I don't know what harness is correct and what's not. So we got this other stuff out of the blue truck, and it worked fine. If you remember in some of the earlier videos, they did cut some wires and stuff that are just kind of hanging in there. And I found this, just like an inline fuse that's wrapped up with some duct tape, and then it's cut on this end. So I don't even know what any of that stuff is. So I think to solve any potential issues once I get everything on, is we're just going to swap out the wiring harness and get rid of all this crap and put the one that's actually for the V8 in it. So that's basically it. There's a video on how I did all of that, so I don't make you sit through it all again. It should be pretty easy now that we've got all this room. I'm going to knock it out. And here we are. Goes in this way. Let's see how big of a difference there actually is. Oh man, this one's bugged too. Dang, bug 2, what up? F4TF DBC. I don't know. And this one's TAD 4. Fun fact, when I lived down south, one of my buddies had a neighbor that went by the name of Bug. I love the South. But anyway, Bug 2 has to go. And we're putting TAD in it. There you go, TAD. TAD's at home. All right, I ordered a starter for this because the starter broke. The last one, it cracked. Got a lot of the wiring back on. We're just putting it all back in. Hooked up the fuel lines. Got those things all connected up back in there. Got the new throttle cable on it, or the one for this truck. Put a couple of the pipes on it. Got all of the wiring up here for the most part connected up. Down in there, the bulkhead connectors and stuff like that. So I think it's going pretty good. I did forget to get the bolts out of the flanges where I had to cut them off with the torch. So whatever, we can't put the exhaust on it right yet. But anyway, that's basically it for tonight. I'll wait for a couple of parts and then we'll get cracking on as soon as I have time. Got us a new starter, so that's good to go. Well, I'm saving you the drudgery of running all of this wiring. So this is the old stuff here, and there is a big old plug right there that I guess has to be ran somewhere up in there, I guess. But anyway, the main issue here is this pigtail here. This got the O2, which would have been probably the downstream O2 that was right there. Plus it has the transfer case and the transmission pigtail right there. This wiring doesn't have that. So it does have the one for the transmission right there, but no O2, which I guess doesn't matter. And then this isn't the right connector for that transfer case plug right there, the blue one. So there's the blue one there, and then there's the red one up there. So this harness just doesn't have the right connectors on it. So anyway, I'm pulling all this stuff out. We'll run all this stuff in. It's really not a ton of fun. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Well, I did make a mistake by putting the engine in first. I should have drilled out these exhaust flanges, but as you can see, they're finally done. Got several broken bits down here. I think I broke 5 or 6 of them. And man, I don't know what the deal was, but those things were hard. Hard as a rock to drill through. This one kind of got off a little bit, but you know what, it's good enough. So now we can at least put the exhaust on it. Getting pretty close. I should probably try to take the exhaust off of this truck first. It is a long bed, so it is going to be a little bit longer, but I can get this out and at least try to put it in place because it does have, the flanges on it. It's in good shape. The mufflers and stuff are nice. everything's good. It might be a little bit long in that section there, maybe a little long there, but you know, whatever, we can fix all of that. So go ahead and try to get these things off. I don't have that little tool that pushes these things out, so that's kind of a bummer, but I'm not going to buy it now for just these things. But I will try to get this thing out, and then we'll try to put it in place, since we are kind of getting close to when we'll need that. I don't really want to start it up with open manifolds, because then I won't be able to hear if there's anything else going on. It'll just be too loud, especially in this old barn. So I'll go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll move forward. Well, we're getting there little by little. This thing's a lot heavier than it looks like, and it's super awkward. So just got to keep on ratchet strapping it little by little, going back and forth. This thing, you'd think it would work great, transjack, but there's just too many awkward angles and it wants to roll off. I've already caught one in the leg, so that sucks. But, you know, we're getting there little by little. All right, well, got the exhaust all up. Made a lot of mistakes today with just finagling it all up in there. I had to take the cross member back down and, you know, all of that because the cats wouldn't fit otherwise. And it's actually it's really awkward and hard for one person to do it. But I got her in there. It's all connected. I have an O2 sensor we got to hook back up and some wiring. But other than that, you know, in this air pump line, it's going to just be kind of tricky to get my hands up in there. But no big deal. We'll hang the rest of this in the next couple of days. I'll just do it off camera. This hanger here is super rusted, so all the nuts will have to be cut off so I can hang this one up there. But you can see it's in good shape. So it'll hang up nice and everything will be good. I think we're getting close to firing it up. Hopefully maybe tomorrow or something like that. I know a lot of people are getting kind of sick of this project. I've heard about it in some of the messages and whatnot. So hopefully we'll cruise through it. A lot of the stuff that I'm skipping over in this video is because there's already a video that I've made or part of this project or this series where I've done it all before. So if you're missing any of that, you can go back and see some of the other videos. Well, if you're doing a V8 conversion, you're going to need to have the lines for a V8. So this is a 6-cylinder truck. You can see kind of the shape of that and the way that this is shaped all up in here. The return is super long, but on a V8 it comes in right down there at the bottom. So these won't fit. But on this you can see the length of it there, and then you know, you got a kind of a short thing here, and then just the shape of all these hard lines. Totally different. So remember, you got to have this, so if you got a scrap truck, don't leave it on there or else you'll be buying a new one. All right, well, it seems like I'm making a little bit of progress, but it also feels weird not making a video on it. However, you guys have seen all of this stuff in any of the other videos that I've made on this truck, so really there's not too much really to show. I did clean out the throttle body there with some throttle body cleaner or mass airflow sensor, all that stuff. You know, just trying to find where all the connectors go. I still don't know where the O2 sensor plugs into, running the ground, getting just odds and ends plugged in. So that's basically it. Really not a whole lot to report. I'm going to try to get the fenders or the fender on it tonight if I can. And again, this is just a repeat of a bunch of other stuff that I've already made videos on. So I'm going to just try to knock it out and, you know, get this video done as soon as possible. And then hopefully we can start it up soon. All right, well, I'm mildly terrified because today we're going to try to start the truck up. I've got a bunch of stuff hooked up inside. It's got water in it. I think it's got oil in it. At least I had oil in it last time. I'd love to be able to get the windows down, but we're just going to put the jump pack on it. See if anything catches on fire, or at least starts smoking. I don't think it will because, you know, it's all the same wiring harness and stuff that we were using out of the blue truck, but who knows? Yeah, this has been a long time coming, so hopefully everything works out. Negative. Well, that's a good start. All right, well, let me turn the key. Nothing's on fire yet. We got a dome light. Our windows are working. The chime works. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you guys up there just in case something horrible happens. At least have a record of it. All right, let's see if she starts. See if it runs. Okay, nothing. Yeah, so what I'm thinking, one of two things. All right, one of two things I think is going on. One, maybe I don't have enough juice in this jump pack. Two, which might actually be the real reason, is I forgot to hook up the clutch pedal. Now on the clutch pedal, it has like a little switch, so you have to plug it, you have to push in the clutch in order to start the truck. So I think that because that's unplugged, it's like not allowing the truck to start because it thinks it's in gear or whatever. So I'm going to crawl under the dash and connect that, and then it should start. It should. All right, well, this is one of the clutch safety switches. It like fits onto the pedal, the rod down there, but this one is broken, and so is the other one. So you can see it's got 6 connections. There is a way that you can bypass these with a Sharpie cap, and I just cut a dowel and shoved it down in there. This part that looks rusty, because it is rusty, that thing is on a spring and it normally sits back here. And then once you push the clutch pedal, it slides that forward and apparently makes some contact of some type in there and allows you to start the truck. But, that's it. So you got your clutch, depressed. Now, if you bypass it like this, just jam that thing in there, slide it all the way forward and jam a dowel in there or whatever, then your truck will always start in gear, which isn't ideal, but, my entire life I've had nothing but vehicles that would start in gear. So I'm a little bit used to it. All right, so we're going to try something right now. We're going to just connect up our power, connect our trigger up here to the relay. And we'll have to put the other end of the wire on our battery positive here. There we go. Negative. Key is off. This might start the truck. If it does, this crap's got to be out of the way. Oh, good enough. Hey, there's the zip tie that was stuck in there. Now let's turn the key on. We'll see what happens. Nada. Nothing. Oh, tried. Oh, wait, let me check the fuel. Well, it's going to take a minute because all the fuel lines are dry, but what was it? Check the switch. Let's see what's up. It might start. Sounds like it's trying. Fuel line should be connected. I did hear the pump cycle. I believe I did. Well, I think I got it figured out. I'm just going to run the bypass on it, and I think that we just have air in the fuel lines. But let me show you how I bypass this safety switch. All right, so if we go up underneath here, you can see there's the plug for it. We've got the key on this side right here, and then these bottom two are essentially looped together. So now when they're looped, ow, the mic fell off my camera. Okay, so now when they're looped, grab the key, throw it in there. Now it works. But I think there's air in the lines or something, or maybe we're not getting, well, we have to be getting some spark because it was trying to fire a little bit. So, probably just try to work the air out of the lines a little bit and go from there. Alright, so the only thing I can think of is we're not getting fuel pressure, but we're going to be able to check that. Right down here on the fuel rail is a little Schrader valve, like a bicycle tire. So we can test that and see if we've got any pressure up in the rail. Well, there is some, I know you guys can't see it, but I got nowhere to put you, so you'll have to just trust me. Push down on it and it kind of leaks out, but it's not spraying out. So there's no real pressure in the rail. So what we'll do is we'll put the jump pack back on here, crank it over, and then I'll push down on it. We'll either bleed air out or nothing will happen, meaning we're not getting power to the pump, or you know, it'll start squirting out all over. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so this thing is falling down again. Yeah, that'll be good enough. So when I pull the trigger, I don't know, you guys can look right down here. It'll either spray out or it won't do anything. Are you serious? Ooh. Okay. No fuel pressure. Alright, well, now we know what the problem is. Alright, well, I clipped the other end of the harness off of the other harness. This is the wiring harness that was in the blue truck. So that thing's coming down. So this should carry our power to the fuel pump and the sender and all that. So this one is orange, yellow, black with a white stripe, and then this one is the. All right, we'll do that again. All right, so I clipped this harness off of the old harness, the one for the red truck. This is for the back fuel pump, and you can see it's purple, gray, and then black, and black with a white stripe, which doesn't match any of the wiring diagrams for the truck, because these are orange, yellow, black, and black with a white stripe. The information I found said that it should have been purple, and well, there's a purple right there, and then whatever. So what I did is, you can see it's already been spliced by somebody, and it does go into an orange, a yellow, which is the wrong size by the looks of things. It's real thin, so the yellow must be for the sender because it's a different gauge. Now the other one here, the black and the gray, I believe are for the fuel pump. So we'll go ahead and plug it in, and we'll see if the fuel pump is good. There are very few things in life that I dislike as much as replacing these fuel pumps in these tanks. These tanks are a mess. So if you've never seen one of these, it's like the dollar store power probe. You know, they work good though, but they're power probe's like $200 or 180 or something, and this one does the same type of deal, but it's only like $20 or less. So just get power, get ground. There we go. Now the thing's lit up. It's even got some lights. All right, so this we're going to clip on to our black. All right, so this is going to be the ground for the trigger here. And now, if all works correctly, you can add positive or negative. So you could add a power or a ground with this. It's kind of cool. Should even tell us how much power we've got. So 12.9 volts in red, which is positive, and then if it was ground, it'll show up as green or whatever. Yeah, see? So it's kind of neat. You can find out things with your wiring, what's got power and what has ground and stuff, so you can find grounds with this. So it's saying that we've got ground right now, but if we add power, our pump's working. Thank God. It almost sounds like it's feeding back through. You can hear it run out. I hope it's not broken there. I don't know what you can hear. Try to listen. So you can hear the return of the fuel gushing back in the tank. So either this is the fuel pump module out of the forward tank. If it's just pumping back through, then one of these is broke. And it's just pumping right back through the return and not pressurizing the line or something. They're two different sizes, so I can't actually hook them up wrong. You know, you can't get the lines wrong. But if this is broke inside because it fell once when I was trying to install this piece of crap, that could be the thing. It could be broken. I don't know. But at least we can run a switch. If we really just can't get the wiring to work, we can at least just run a wire up to a ground and a switch, and then run the fuel pump manually off of a 12-volt toggle, and at least get the thing to work. So I don't know. We're going to just see. I'm going to poke around with these wires a little bit more and see why I'm not getting power back here. Maybe I am, and the connector is bad or something. I don't know. Kind of the downside of this whole contraption is, you know, I don't have a battery tray because the battery tray has to be bolted into the fender well, which is hanging down, so I can't put a battery up in it. So I have to either lower this thing down every time to put the jump pack in it and then raise it up a little bit so I can get over there and test. It's just kind of awkward, but we'll make it work. All right, well, I couldn't get that to work, so I ran a wire from the battery positive over through the truck, ran a wire all the way from the back of the fuel pump, and then grounded the fuel pump to the frame, ran them all in here temporarily to this toggle. So let's see if it works. So now the fuel pump works, or it's running at least, so let's see if we've got any pressure up in here. Oh yeah. Uh-huh, we got some pressure. So we'll shut this off for now and put you up on a stand. We'll see if we can get this thing to run. It should run now. Fingers crossed and all that. Here we go. You'll pump on. She runs. That terrible noise is the AC compressor. Yeah, so AC compressor just howling away. I really need to fix that. Whatever, I don't even know. I don't even remember. Oh, I gotta put the condenser in there. And then, well, I can unplug it, I guess, right? I thought that these things weren't supposed to engage until well, I thought that they wouldn't engage at all unless you had refrigerant in it. So maybe that's just the clutch they're running, but I don't remember it sounding like that. However, I could be wrong. It's been a while. I suppose that I could disconnect all of this stuff and it shouldn't run, right? I don't know. I wasn't really looking, if I'm being honest with you right now. It runs. Well, that's huge. I'll have to figure out the wiring and stuff and why the fuel pump isn't working at another time. I don't know. It might have something to do with that switch. So here's the switch. You know, front and rear. It's on rear, which, I don't know, maybe it's backwards or something. Who knows? But I'll have to dig into that. There is one thing I'd like to do. This cluster reads like 200 and something thousand miles. And I guess you can just pull off this bezel here, and then there's a couple of screws, and then plug on the back, and it'll pop that whole cluster out. Then this truck only has like 100 and whatever thousand on it, so it would be better to have, you know, a lower mileage cluster, and then maybe that has something to do with the computer. Who knows? But hey, at least we have a fuel pump. I'm going to probably leave that toggle just on there for now, and I'll diagnose that wiring at some other point. I'm not very good at diagnosing like crazy wiring issues. It's probably something to do with the switch, the tank switch. I think there's a module somewhere that switches the tanks. It's probably something to do with that, and then that switch on the dash. So right now we just at least get the thing to run. So I'll start reassembling all of the crap on the fender wells, put all of this stuff back together, get a battery in it, and then we should be able to at least drive the truck around and move it in and out of the shop. So I'll knock that stuff out off camera because there are other videos where I do all of that, and it's really not that exciting. Maybe I'll run across some wires somewhere that I forgot, and maybe that'll fix the fuel issue. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, well, we're cruising along here. As you can see, I got quite a bit more stuff put on. I had to take a bunch off of it, which took a lot of time because this stuff's like a puzzle. But got the air cleaner on, mass airflow sensor, you know, all this stuff is all in place. Got the shroud on now, put the little breather hose on it, battery trays in there, got all the wiring good. I've got to connect up the AC line. I got to get a new nitrile O-ring for that. I had to drain the water out of it, so we'll hook all of these back up, and I think we're pretty solid. Now, as far as the fuel pump switch, I was talking with Brant at BNC Performance over there in Hawaii, and he was saying that on these trucks they have a rollover like fuel pump cutoff switch in the kick panel on the other side right here, kind of where we were hearing that weird buzzing noise. He says that if that gets bumped or tripped, it will shut off the fuel pump, but it'll still crank. So I'll crawl in there and see what we can see. And apparently there's a button on top. You can push them and then it'll reset it. So maybe that's all that's wrong, and we can get rid of all this wiring, and hey, that'll be good. So I'll see what I can do. It's got to still, I'm bleeding the clutch a little bit right now so we can move it. Just some gravity bleeding down there. I really need to get this thing moving because I need the hoist like super bad. This is taking way longer than I was anticipating. I've got some obligations that I have to make good on. So we're just gonna get this thing running and see if we can cruise it around the yard. I got a couple more things to do, and then we'll see how it goes. All right, so we're down here in the kick panel. There's the blower motor and all of that stuff. I guess this is that rollover switch. Now, I was told just to push on the top, and like there's a button there, but it doesn't feel like it's popped up, or I can push it down or anything like that. So I don't know. I'll have to look it up and see how it works. I didn't really disconnect anything other than this one plug here, which as you can see is plugged back in. I don't see any relays over here. None of that stuff, so I don't think there's anything that I did here that would cause any problems. Now, I was saying I heard some like buzzing over in here, and I'm not sure what that could be. Maybe it is this thing here buzzing around, but whatever. I'll do a little bit of research online. Right now I don't have any internet out in the shop. And when I don't have any internet out in the shop, that means my phone doesn't work. I can't do anything at all out here internet-wise. So I'm working on getting that thing all straightened out. So it kind of sucks to have to walk up to the house to like watch a YouTube video or look something up online. Because when I say I have no service out here, I mean I have none, like zero. The phone won't work, nothing. So hopefully we'll get that stuff fixed. It's all due to this wireless bridge I've got, the Ubiquity wireless bridge. And I don't know if the firmware or something needs to be updated, but I've been screwing with it for, I don't know, about 2 weeks. I don't know. So anyhow, I think that's all right. I don't know what the deal is with it. All right, one more stumbling block with this truck. I can't seem to bleed the clutch pedal on it. I've tried everything I've got, vacuum, air, clutch, you know, like pressing the pedal. I can't get any fluid to flow through that master cylinder up there. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe the seals like went bad from sitting without fluid in it for, you know, a couple of months while I've been, you know, busy with other things. But yeah, they're expensive. So to buy the whole kit is over $200. So, and that's a bummer. But I ordered a new clutch master cylinder, and that'll be here tomorrow. I guess I'll go ahead and put that in. It's the only thing I could think of. If I can't generate any pressure, it's not going to allow the fluid to flow through it because it's not doing anything. Come over here and look at this. This is the other transmission, the two-wheel drive. I guess this back here is what they're considering the slave cylinder, and then your hydraulic throwout bearing. That connector, that gold one right there, has a totally different style end on it, which you might have seen in some of the other videos. So I can't really use my line or anything with it for this transmission. And then, you know, that plastic line right there going up to the bottom of the cylinder there is like $80 or something crazy. It's stupid. But right now, right now the pedal just goes directly to the floor. No pressure's being generated at all. I don't understand it. I don't know. Their hydraulic clutches are nice to have, but they're kind of expensive. But yeah, I'll just have to wait on this and try to work on it in the next couple of days when I got some time. Yeah, it's just kind of one more thing with this, but hopefully it'll be nice when it's done. All right, I got me a brand new clutch master for the truck, so hopefully that fixes the problem. I got the old one out. And luckily for me, it has a roll pin here at the bottom where this black plastic line clips in or, you know, attaches or whatever, because these barbed fittings for these plastic lines usually take a special tool where you got to heat up the line and all this stuff. You can see right there at the bottom there, these marks, that's where the dies clamp on in order to push the line on. They're hard to get on and off. But thankfully we can just knock it out with the roll pin. It's the same on the new one. Now you can see my repair where I took this zip tie and tried to make like the clamp for this safety switch. This safety switch is bad, unfortunately, and both of them are bad. So that's a bummer. But this clip here I wasn't able to find anywhere. So if you guys know where to find one of these, you can let me know in the comments. But it's broken right there. Looks like it would have wrapped around and then clamped on. But what this does is it locks onto this little tab here and prevents this from just sliding up and down whenever you're pushing your clutch in and out. So I don't really know what's bad in there. There's only like a couple of contacts, but whatever the case may be, they don't work. So I'm just going to bypass it. You know, like I said, I've had a lot of trucks in my life that don't even have any type of safeties on them at all. So I'm pretty familiar with driving a vehicle that doesn't have a clutch safety on it. So I wouldn't recommend it for you, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So on this one, it comes with a new shaft. Look at that thing. Look at how nice it looks. So roll pin there at the bottom. It's just a little dust cover here. If we get rid of that, you can see where it'll lock into there. Should be pretty easy to take care of. Comes with a couple of new grommets and a push rod. So new roll pin too, and then a little O-ring. So then there's your push rod. And that's nice too, because some of these little clips here were broken off on mine. So it's pretty good to get a new one anyway. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in this truck. And fingers crossed, if we're lucky, we'll be able to get some fluid down through here and make our clutch work. Because we sure can't drive the truck if we can't disengage the clutch. All right. That was pretty uneventful. Got the roll pin in there. One nice thing is that this line rotates. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but yeah, it spins around. So that means that I don't have to get it exact, because there are, you know, curves and stuff in this thing that you got to drop it down in there with. So I'm going to go ahead and slap this thing back together, and if we're lucky, we'll have a clutch. All right, I got good news and bad news. Good news is, you know, I can actually get fluid from this master cylinder down to the clutch down there. So, I mean, that's good. Before, I couldn't get any fluid to it at all. Zero. But got bad news too. Here's the bad news. That's it. So it just goes right to the floor and doesn't come back. So I don't know what happened to it from the time that, you know, I took it out of the blue truck until now. But, you know, this thing is just, I guess the throwout bearing isn't working. Now I bled 3 cups of brake fluid through that master. So the new whatever, I filled it up 3 or 4 times. So I filled it up quite a bit. We've got good fluid flow going from the master cylinder down to, you know, the clutch. But I don't think it's pressurizing that throwout bearing, which is pushing against all the springs in the clutch. So not really entirely sure what to do with that. All I know is that I can't take the trans out right now, or at least be able to slide the transmission back on the cross member and get it out that way, which is weird to me because all this stuff worked fine in this blue truck, which is so weird. So sounds like maybe the power steering pump is getting growly now, and the air conditioning compressor is making noise. The AC worked awesome on that blue truck, so I don't get it. But I have to break my promise. I said we were going to try to get this thing running and driving in this video, and this would be it for a while. I only got it running. I just can't make it drive without a clutch working. I've got to get some other stuff going on. I've got a lot. I'm falling really far behind because of this. I've got 2.5 days of brush hogging out here to do, plus all of the other stuff that I want to do. Summer's coming. You know, I mean, it's like the middle of summer. It's August 1st. We've got some 41 Ford stuff that needs to be done. Jeep Cherokee XJ stuff. I got cool parts for the D150. I've got that billet steel flywheel sitting over there to do the manual conversion on that. And I've got an awesome project that I think you guys will love just sitting right outside the door. I've been sitting on it because of this, and I really tried to get this thing basically wrapped up. I just can't do it right now. Time's killing me. So besides all of the maintenance items like brakes on the CRV, oil change in my dad's truck, cutting grass, all this different stuff that just has to be done, cleaning up in this pigsty now, I just don't have time for the Ford. So we'll try to get back to it before the snow flies, but we'll work on some other stuff that's a lot cooler because I've gotten a ton of hate on this Ford. A lot of people don't like this truck, and they're so sick and tired of seeing it, and I'm kind of sick of it too. So I'll throw the hood on this and I'll put it outside for a while. I'll find some cheaper parts online just to see, because I'm not entire. There's no reason why this throwout bearing should stop working. I don't know. Like, it worked fine in the blue truck. That's what's so weird. The one in that other transmission won't work because the plastic line going into it has a different end on it, so I can't even use that one even if I wanted to. So I'll order up some other parts and we'll figure it out. So other than that, we hit 16,000 subs, which is awesome and insane. I would have never thought in a million years that we would be at 16,000 subs. But here we are. So I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out and supporting the channel, watching the videos and all of that. It's awesome. And now that I have internet working out here again, we'll do a live stream or something to celebrate the 16,000 subs. And hopefully you guys really like all the new stuff that I'm going to be playing around with soon. I think you guys will dig it. So anyway, let me clean up out here, throw the hood on this old turd, push it outside, and get into something more fun. So thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.